The entire market is currently in a massive bloodbath. Although we saw this coming, but we never knew the exact day it was going to happen. I was expecting the correction to begin on Friday, but we began on Wednesday because I specifically drew you guys' attention to this BTC dominance bounce. And I told you guys the moment we are approaching this level, which is a breaker, a previous bullish breaker that failed, altcoins are going to bleed. So XCN crashed hard to the downside, and also ZBCN. I think ZBCN crashed to this breaker block right here and got a bounce. So ZBCN is still holding up well. Now, the crash is not over on XCN, neither is it over on ZBCN. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys when I expect the crash to come to an end. Now, XCN crashed hardly, like massively to the downside. But if you're paying attention to XCN on the 4-hour time frame, if you're paying attention to the RSI has presented an entry opportunity. The RSI crashed hard all the way to 23% and has now gotten a bounce to 33%, which is still below the 50% level, which is the oversold territory. That is to say, the XCN RSI is now in the oversold territory, presenting us with an entry opportunity, a buy opportunity, which sooner or later we should begin to see a recovery back to the 50% level. And now a recovery from the 33% to the 50% level is going to be bullish for the price of XCN. Now imagine if the recovery happens all the way to the 60% level, then we should take out this resistance. Remember, I specifically drew you guys' attention to this resistance in the previous video. I say the moment XCN is able to flip that resistance into a support, that is when we can begin to full send to the upside. Unfortunately, the market makers had something in mind. We lost this support. I was expecting to get a bounce for XCN around 0.0187. We came there I think twice. On this 4-hour candle, we came there, we got a massive bounce to the upside. We came there, we got another massive bounce to the upside. But unfortunately, the market makers had something in mind. So they broke below that potential breaker block zone and also support level, invalidated all the support area XCN was supposed to get a bounce from. Now, not to forget, ZBCN is still holding up well. We came to this resistance level, which I told you guys as well, I drew you guys' attention to, which I told you the moment we are flipping the resistance level into a clean support with at least 3 bullish 4-hour candle above it, then we should begin to expand ZBCN to send all the way to 0.0057 and also 0.0060 zone. That didn't happen because we got a rejection from there. ZBCN wasn't able to close above the 0.0041 level. And when we got that massive rejection coupling with the correction that happened in the entire crypto space, we got a clean bounce from this breaker block right here around 0.0034944. I think ZBCN is still holding up very, very well compared to XCN, although XCN has presented an entry opportunity. But ZBCN is holding up well. The ZBCN RSI is above the 50% level, currently seated at 52.96%. And that is the last time we came to this zone. The most recent time we came, we got a bounce from there, which was this support level and had a massive full send to the upside. Now we are now back to that level for the RSI. We dropped to 49%. We are now back to 52.96%. That is to say, the next pump for the RSI, the next pump for the ZBCN RSI to this level, which is around 77% level, which it corrected from, that next pump should take us above this resistance level. And I think that next pump is what is going to propel us into tapping into this zone, the zone between 0.0057 and also 0.0060. If you guys paid attention very, very well in the previous video, I told you guys, I specifically drew your attention to a potential correction. I told you guys the Ethereum USD pair RXI on the daily time frame has approached an overbought territory. And when that happens, we might get a correction from there. I specifically told you guys, the Ethereum RSI on the daily time frame is indicating we have tapped into an overbought territory, which is signaling a reversal to the downside. A reversal on the trend of Ethereum. And if you are also going back to the Ethereum chart on the daily time frame, you would notice same thing is happening with the price action. The price has just tapped into a clean and obvious bearish order block here, and also another bearish order block here. So when we tapped into the overbought territory, we went as high as 87.81%. We corrected aggressively to the downside below 76%. Likewise to the price of Ethereum. I told you guys in that video that the price of Ethereum has approached a bearish order block. And when price approaches bearish order block, which we have multiple bearish order block around that zone. This is a massive bearish order block, another bearish order block here, another bearish order block here. So Ethereum pumped slightly into it and then got a rejection from the final order block. When that rejection happened, altcoin bled. And if you're paying attention, I specifically drew you guys' attention to the BTC dominance chart on the daily time frame as well. I think then the BTC dominance was still getting a bounce on this candle. And I told you guys, if we are not getting the rejection from around 61.3%, something like that, then we should expect the BTC dominance to reject from around 62.16%. So we got to as high as 62.49% and then got a slight rejection to the downside. Now, the reason why the altcoin market bled like hard was because of the bounce the BTC dominance got. And I specifically told you guys that if the BTC dominance on the daily time frame is getting a bounce, then altcoins are going to bleed a little. Now, if this pump should continue for the BTC dominance, we should expect a resistance around 61.43% and also 62.16%. So if the BTC dominance is pumping further to 62.16%, then we should expect altcoin to retrace further a little bit. Area the BTC dominance pumped to also align with this resistance area. Expect a bull mode by the time we start entering August 5th. We should rally hard for the rest of the month of August. And then we are going to get a local top towards the end of September. And if I'm not mistaken, BTC should get to around $140,000 by then. I might be wrong, but I think the BTC price is going to get to $40,000 before the end of September. The current price is trading at around $118,000. And we've been ranging for a while now. Look at the 1 hour time frame. BTC has been ranging between the $120,000 and $116,000. We have over $266 million worth of liquidity on Binance, around $115,636, and also $115,100. That is to say, sooner or later, the CME gap I showed you guys in the previous video is going to get filled. So if that correction is happening, we should expect BTC to briefly dip into the zone of around $114,000 for the BTC price.